Welcome back to my channel. I'm Heather Corinne, and today we're going to be crocheting these Spiderweb coasters. This pattern is beginner friendly and whips up very quickly. Please note that this video is a visual tool to go along with the written pattern, which can be found on my blog and in my Etsy shop, which I will link down below for you. We're going to be using worsted weight yarn for today's project, a size G or 4mm crochet hook, some scissors, and a tapestry needle. To begin, we're going to place a slip knot on our crochet hook. And we're going to chain 17 chain stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17 chain stitches. For row 1, we're going to single crochet in each stitch across through our chains, so that's going to be 16 total single crochet for row 1. Okay, so at the end of row 1, we're going to chain 1, and we'll chain 1 at the end of every row moving forward, turn the work around, and for row 2, we're going to decrease and then single crochet in the rest of the stitches across. So to decrease, we're going to insert the hook, pull up a loop, insert the hook into the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through all 3 loops to decrease. And then we're going to single crochet in the next 14 stitches, which will give us a total of 15 stitches for row 2. So here we're coming up on the end of row 2. We're going to chain 1 and turn the work around, and we're just going to repeat this same sequence, decrease and then single crochet in the rest of the stitches all the way until the end of row 15. So here's the decrease, and I'm going to single crochet in the rest of the stitches, and I'll catch you back at the end of row 15 once we've gotten down to a point on our triangle. So here we've just finished row 14. I'm going to turn the work around and do our last row, which is row 15. So we're going to decrease and then single crochet in the next stitch. So that'll be 2 stitches for row 15. Chain 1. And now we're going to make a border around the triangle. So we've just chained 1, we're going to turn the work and continue down this left side with single crochet. If you're enjoying this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. So when we get down to the corner, we're going to add a chain 1 stitch. So here's the corner stitch. We're going to single crochet, chain 1, and then turn to continue working down the top with the row of single crochet. When we get to the next corner, we're going to single crochet and then chain 1 and turn and work single crochets down the other side of the triangle. So here we're coming up on the bottom of the triangle. We're going to finish off this round of single crochet by going back across to where we started with the border, and then after that we're going to slip stitch into the next stitch. So here's the last stitch. So now we're going to slip stitch into the next one. So insert the hook and slip stitch. Now we're just going to trim this off with a long enough tail to weave in the ends. To weave in the ends, we're just going to get a handy dandy tapestry needle and weave it down through the back side of the triangle. So we want to make sure we're going in the direction of that border we were doing, so we're just going to pull it down to the back side and then begin weaving it in. My favorite method for weaving in ends is to run the needle through several stitches in one direction. And then skip the first stitch and weave it back through those same stitches. Then we'll take our scissors and snip off the excess. And I'll just repeat this with the other tail as well. And here is our finished triangle, ready to add on the spider webbing. So we're going to grab some white yarn and place a slip knot on our hook. And we're going to make the first row of the webbing using slip stitches going directly up the center of the triangle. So to do this, we're going to insert the hook into the bottom from the top towards the back. And then we're going to yarn over from the back side and create a slip stitch. Slip stitch. And now we're just going to repeat this going up in a straight line. So insert the hook, pick up the yarn, pull it through into a slip stitch. coming up on the edge here after the last one, we're just going to chain one over the edge and snip off the yarn with a long enough tail to weave it in. Now we're going to repeat this same step on the right side and the left side. So we're going to place another slip knot on our hook. And we're going to insert the hook directly into that first slip stitch that we made on the previous row. So we're going to sort of turn the work and begin slip stitching down this right side. And so we're wanting to slip stitch not directly into the very edge of the work, but sort of the row to the left of it where we started the border. So now we'll snip off this end, and we're just going to repeat this same process on the left side. Okay, so now we have all three. We're just going to weave in these ends, and if you prefer not to watch me weave in ends, feel free to skip ahead. We're going to start with these bottom ends and start weaving them up towards the middle and the back. So I'm just weaving it back and forth through the white thread where we created the slip stitches to work it up towards closer to the center on the back of the work. So now I'm going to double knot these little tails all together and trim off any excess. Next, we're going to weave in these top ends as well. And at this point, I'm going to create a knot since there's not any close by tails to tie this to. So I'm going to do it twice to make sure everything's nice and secure. Just a simple little knot, and then trim off the excess. And I'm just going to repeat this with the other two remaining tails. Okay, now we're ready to create the little webbing V's is what I'm going to call them, because they are in a V shape. So we just have a really long piece of white yarn threaded onto our tapestry needle. We're going to count up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and insert the needle from the back to the front. And then to create the little V, we're going to go down just a smidge and pull the yarn through. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side and drop down to create a little V shape. And that's what we're going to repeat all the way up. So we're going to count up 3 stitches from the last one and bring the yarn through the third one. And continue on creating our little V shapes. Count up 3 more. 1, 2, 3. For this last set, we're going to come up through the very top stitch. And then begin weaving in these tails on the back side. So I'm just going to thread this down closer to the first tail, tie them together, and then snip off the excess. And this is our completed spiderweb coaster. I think these are just absolutely adorable. I hope you enjoyed crocheting these with me today. If you did, like I said, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I plan to see you soon with a new fun project. I wanted to show you, I ended up getting these cute little orange spiders that could be hot glued onto the coaster without affecting putting a drink on it. These are dollar store rings that I used wire cutters to snip off the back sides. Thanks so much for watching and happy crocheting!